Oh my goodness, how long has the wait been? Hello there, everybody! Sabata92, aka Nightmare, and finally, goddamn finally, welcome back to My Hero Academia. And now we are finally on Season 4, and I realize a lot of people have been waiting for that, but I appreciate all of your patience in this matter. Before we begin, a little bit of a disclaimer. The one who created the thumbnail template, once again, created by the talented SkydivingQuagga. I'm starting to like this idea of my character being a bit of a villain for once. I'm actually enjoying this little scenario that we're coming up with. Quite nice, really. Just be sure to go down in the description down below to go check out more of SkydivingQuagga's work. He's actually pretty good at what he does. And also check out the other artists that I'd linked down in the description as too. So, where to begin? I have to say I've been definitely looking forward to this. Especially with how season 3 ended. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I've already talked about like what parts of season 3 that I truly liked, but I think I can boil it down to specifically 3 moments. The first moment would definitely have to be Izuku versus Muscular. That was brutal. But the one for all, 1,000,000%, that shit was pretty good, even though realistically, it was maybe like 110%, maybe. Yeah, I can totally understand that. Actually, no, I stand corrected. There's actually 4 moments. There's actually one other important moment that I need to talk about, but let's go to the second one. All Might versus All for One. I don't think words can possibly describe how impactful that entire sequence of events was. Seeing basically these two, not necessarily at their prime, but you get to see this ultimate evil and you get to see this paragon of justice duking it out, as well as just seeing not only the world's reaction to seeing, well, what Toshinori really looks like and what he's sacrificed to keep everybody safe, but seeing the torch being passed on, and not just All Might passing the torch on to Izuku, but also All for One transferring, not really necessarily transferring, but kind of passing down his theoretical torch to oh god, I forgot his name. How did I forget? Tamura, god damn it, Shigaraki. It was on the tip of my tongue for like a moment, and I feel kind of bad because I actually like this villain and how they're kind of building him up. But I've actually gone back and I've rewatched those few episodes multiple times. I've kind of lost count how many times I've rewatched just that full fight between All Might and All for One. I never get tired of it, and I just it's just a marvel. The third moment that I definitely was considered a highlight of season 3, though, was seeing All Might literally on his hands and knees and actually it's apparently a very important pose in Japanese society. I can't remember. I think somebody actually described what the pose signified, but him basically on his hands and knees in front of not only Izuku but also his mother, basically saying, "I believe this boy is right to succeed. He's going to succeed me. He's basically earned the right to become the next symbol of peace." And just that entire exchange there too was also incredibly potent in just how powerful it was. And finally, the piece de resistance, I guess you could consider this, the inevitable battle between Izuku and Bakugo. That was something that I felt had been building up for an exceptionally long amount of time. Now that Bakugo he finally understood how Izuku has this quirk. And it was interesting. I hated Bakugo for like the longest time, but season 2 I started warming up to him, and season 3 helped solidify him as like one of my more favorite characters. He's a bastard. The shit that he put Izuku through, it's terrible. It's terrible. But what they're doing with his character right now, trying to improve him and seeing like him develop as I think it's become a meme already about like how my feelings about the show is if I see character development, it's always like the best thing for me. That's pretty much what this is. This entire thing was just character development, and I always loved it. But seeing Bakugo actually kind of mature a little bit, and now it looks like Bakugo and Izuku are actually true rivals now. Or they're on the stepping stone, they're like on the starting steps to becoming official real rivals, where they can actually improve on one another. Which, that's great. That's fucking fantastic. And it makes me really happy to kind of see how far how far season 4 is going to try to encapsulate that, if possible. Now, there is a couple things that I am wanting to look forward, that I am kind of wanting to see so far. Obviously, we want to see new villains, we want to see new heroes, we want to see new various quirks and all that good old happy junk. But one thing that I want to do, I would love to see, specifically with how season 3 had Kirishima and Bakugo's relationship kind of, but I want to see some more of Kirishima development, as well as maybe some Uraraka, and maybe we can get some Suyu, get some Frog Girl development. That'd actually be pretty good too. But there's one particular character that I'm hoping that they expand on this, and it's specifically Endeavor. Now that All Might's officially out of the picture, I do want to see like how this season captures Endeavor, because how season 3 had it, it looked like he wasn't too happy that he basically is now the de facto #1 hero, but it's not the way that he wanted it. And that one, I think that was like the last scene that I got to see of him in season 3, where he's basically just destroyed his own room and he's just kind of sitting there stewing in his own anger and regret and all that. I'm hoping that they give him some development, make him kind of understand the shit that he put his family through. That might put him in a slightly more positive light, but that's never going to excuse the shit that he did. But I would love if they kind of expanded on, like, giving him some, like, self-reflection, realizing, was it really all worth it? Was it really worth it? Or just him, I don't know, setting into the role and the responsibility of now being the #1 hero. I have hope. I really do. But I'm not going to get those hopes up. However, this is My Hero Academia. They take the time to actually work on its characters, which is why I love this show so much. So, there's one last thing. The final episode, I believe it was the final episode that I watched of season 3, we got introduced to some dude who looked like he was wearing a sort of, it was like half of a plague doctor mask. I think they said that his name was Overhaul. Admittedly, I know it's been a while, considering the most, I think I've rewatched specifically only a few episodes multiple times. I've lost count how many times I've seen the All Might versus All for One fight. Good God. I've really lost count. But, I'm kind of wanting to... Yeah, that's another thing. The villains themselves. We got a little bit information about that one villain. I think his name was Twice. We got to see him without his mask on, and it looked like he was extremely struggling with that other voice in his head until he finally put the mask on, where he seemed to be perfectly kind of calmed down and feel... I don't know. I want to see this explored a little bit more, because that's another thing. The show does a good job making me interested in the villains. And Twice in specifically, I want to see like more of him. Like, I want to learn a little bit more about that dude. Anyway, I think I've jabbered on long enough. I've been waiting way too long to get into this, so let's just throw ourselves in. Oh, there we go. There's the preview. Okay, coolio. So, all right. Well, that was episode... Oh, wow, we're at 64 episodes? Holy shit, I've been going through this show crazily. All right, so that was the first episode of Season 4, and it started off very interestingly, as we saw what I asked for, another new quirk, and one that involved just taking pictures, which makes sense that he'd be working at a newspaper, or, whatever the hell you call that, an agency that just prints out information on magazines and stuff like that. That's actually pretty cool. That's actually pretty neat. And seeing his Tokuda's backstory about his admiration for All Might was actually pretty good as well. And I will admit, this was definitely more of a sort of mental refresher, like all the characters, which, you know what? I think that's pretty good considering how long it takes for them to make a brand new season with every new episode and all that. I do appreciate that. Quite nice. It was a very good refresher. Even if it means I got to see Toshinori freaking beat the shit out of All for One again. That was, so satisfying. I am glad that he's not, publishing this information, but I do like how he's like, hey, I'll write a book about you whenever you do become the symbol of peace. That was actually very nice. That was very, very sweet. I actually really like that. And I'm hoping to see, I want to see more information about this Sir Night Eye that was brought up. Apparently, he and All Might did have, I think they were like former, they used to work together, but it seems like they must have had some sort of falling out, according to that news guy, Tokuda. I'm kind of hoping that we can get a little bit of some, like, get that expanded upon. And it was very interesting seeing how he kind of like, no, I've already pieced it all together. I know who the new symbol of peace is, but don't worry, I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm actually kind of happy that he's not going to do that. It was a very sweet start. I actually really liked it, and I'm definitely going to look forward to seeing what we got next. So I'm going to go ahead and hop into the next episode, and I will see all of you guys there. Hello there, everybody, and now we're on the second episode of Season 4 to My Hero Academia. I guess we should just go ahead and keep it with the standard numbers and just label it as episode 65 at this point. In the last episode, we got to meet an interesting little dude that was a part of this, I want to say it's like a newspaper sort of deal, like sort of not really a paparazzi, but, people always trying to get in on the scoop, try to get a little bit of a story out there to make some money and all that. And met this dude, Takudo. I think his name was Takudo. I apologize if I got his name wrong. And he had a theory about who the basically All Might picked as the person who's going to be the next symbol of peace. And we also got to, like, I had a bad theory that he was going to spread this information, but we got a nice and actual heartwarming moment where he's just like, dude, I looked up to All Might too. He saved my dad. And then we learned that his quirk lets him take pictures just by making a camera lens pop out of any part of his body. That's wicked. But, needless to say, him kind of keeping the secret like, yeah, I kind of have a feeling it was you, Deku, but I'm not going to let anybody know about this, okay? Sound good? Is it alright? I'm going to keep this picture, and then I'm going to write a story about you whenever you become the #1 hero. I like that. That was actually quite nice. That was really freaking good. And it was also just a standard little recap of what happened in the previous seasons, giving us a little bit of a mental refresher, which, I gotta say, it was definitely necessary and much needed. Now, as I saw, like, at the end of the last episode, we did get to see that there were going to be, like, sort of after-credits scenes, so, before the episode preview, so I will keep that in mind for future episodes. Now, let's see if we can get into some real good shit right here. Well, then again, it's My Hero Academia. It never fails. I had thoughts about what I wanted to discuss on this episode. However, those last 2 minutes involving a tickle machine was unexpected, and only just goes to show how horrifying Sir Night Eye is concerning laughter. Okay. 3, I learned that Izuku has been practicing to do the All Might voice or face for a very, very long time, apparently. And I thought it was just a running joke or just a simple joke that I think they actually did this in the first season. I think it was just a simple joke for that particular moment. I did not expect it to actually be a character trait that he's been practicing all of this time. First off, very impressive. Good job, Izuku. Very, very good job. You successfully learned how to perfectly mold your face into something completely different. Good job. Good job. Maybe that's your secret quirk that you never knew about. Transformation. There you go. Good. And I about shit myself as soon as I saw Sir Night Eye. That's a very intense gaze. Yeah, that's Okay, so Todoroki and Bakugo are finally going to go retake their license exam, so they might be able to get their hero licenses. That's good. On top of that, apparently Sir Night Eye and All Might had some sort of falling out. We're not entirely sure exactly what that falling out entails, which I'm hoping the next episode kind of tells me. I would really like it if I got some information about why they had a falling out in the first place. And third, wait, this is fourth. Fuck, what point is this? Well, whatever. Mirio Togata is actually back in the game, so that's great. And apparently he's being trained under Sir Night Eye, and now it's going to be both him and Izuku training under Night Eye. If Izuku can make Sir Night Eye laugh, it is the actual thing. And more horrifyingly, we learn, well, we haven't figured out what it is, but we lost the magnetism villain because his upper half it just fucking exploded because of this overhaul guy, which I have a theory about how his quirk works, but I'm going to wait till I've already stated it, and I'm hoping that the show will kind of give me a better explanation as to how his quirk works. And we also learned that he's actually part of the Yakuza, and got a little bit of a history lesson about how the Yakuza is in this world of heroes and villains. So that was interesting, to say the least. But yeah, that was really I did okay. We got. I really should have noticed the death flag. I really should have noticed the death flag with the magnet dudes past talking about this girl that it seemed to be a civilian and knew about him. Yeah, I really should have realized that right there was a death flag, and I feel dumb that I did not spot it. I like to pride myself in noticing death flags, but apparently that one just slipped past my gaze. But damn, that if Overhaul's quirk works the way I think it does, that is legitimately horrifying. Ugh. Other than that, though, I'm guessing the training is, or well, I guess the training isn't going to start until Izuku can make Night Eye laugh. But oh, the tickle torture just sounds absolutely horrifying. Okay, I'm just gonna go jump in the next episode, and I'll see you guys there. Hello there, everybody, and now we are on episode 66 of My Hero Academia. So, last episode, we got a glimpse into how Overhaul's quirk works. We still haven't figured out exactly the details, but it's seemingly, again, my only thought is that whatever he touches, he's able to multiply, or rapidly multiply, whatever substance that particular thing is made of. And in the case of the magnetism, I'm guessing he multiplied the amount of blood in his body, causing his veins to bulge out and then just explode his entire upper half, killing him. Which, that just, I wasn't expecting that. In hero news, though, it looks like they're going to be doing work studies, although it's going to be a little bit different in comparison, because I'm assuming they're doing that just because, you know, safety reasons, rise of villainy and all that good happy junk to do all that stuff. On top of that, aside from that, though, going back to the whole villain thing for a minute there, seeing Shigaraki actually take a much more, I guess, mature approach rather than lashing out immediately. He tried to get his people to kind of, no, get back, don't do anything, and they unfortunately suffered for it, including Compressor losing an arm. Or that's just shit, man. Ugh. Okay, Overhaul, you terrify me. Good job. You terrify me. Good job. But I think the weirdest part about last episode was the tickle torture. I'm not entirely sure how the hell I can expand on that. But Izuku, you better come up with something funny. Otherwise, that's gonna be really. Ugh. Oh, that was that. No, don't even think about that. That was horrifying. Ugh. But anyway, I'm just gonna hop right in and just see what the hell we got going on now. Oh, next week is going to be a fucking blast. Okay, so first summary here. This episode, we finally got to see Sir Night Eye's quirk, and it seems like it requires him to look in the eye of his target while also, I guess, touching their face, I think? As long as he gets their eye contact, he's able to pretty much predict whatever they do with a time limit of an hour, I believe. I think that's what it said. Like, he has like an hour where he can pretty much predict anything. That's pretty dope. Granted, the activation is a bit difficult to say the least, but once it's done, it's pretty darn cool. And we get to learn. Well, first off, Midoriya actually kind of passed, but the reasoning being that Sir Night Eye doesn't accept him as the person to be the one who has one for all, and he's going to try to make him give it up. to say the least. Interesting. I mean, Izuku's the main character. I really doubt it. All we gotta do is we just gotta work our way into getting into Sir Night Eye's heart, and then good job. You got it. You're all good. But seeing just Izuku not even hitting the, All Might's memorabilia, that was actually pretty good. And seeing Night Eye actually recognize that Izuku is a fast thinker. He's very analytical, and he's capable of, even under intense emotional stress or something like that, he's able to, formulate stuff, and he's able to think things through, which is actually pretty darn good. Kind of shows how far that the kid's gone, or he's come from, Now, on top of that, looks like some people got to be accepted, including Tokiyami, by this dude named Hawks. I got like a silhouette of him, but he looks pretty cool, interestingly enough. And it looks like for their first surveillance job, they're looking for Chisaki, aka this Overhaul guy, or at least keeping an eye on him because of his supposed contact with the League of Villains. Now, the real question, though, from that little bonus that we got at the end, we got to see this little horned girl, and I think that she's the girl that kind of showed up in the opening and ending theme the first time that I saw it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is, or she is. So I'm kind of wondering what her deal is, and why this Yakuza guy knows her. If we're thinking Yakuza, I'm going to make a guess here. I'm guessing that whoever this girl is, Eri, I think he said that's what her name was. She must have some sort of quirk that the Yakuza find useful in some regard. So what I'm assuming is they probably kidnapped her, or she's been part of the Yakuza, which I don't think she is, judging from the way that it looks like she's just wearing rags. I'm assuming that she must have been kidnapped by this Yakuza family. I think it was called Shie Hasaikai. I think that's what they call it. So I'm just going to assume that she was kidnapped for whatever her quirk must be. And that's probably what's going on. But, well, congratulations, Izuku. You found the guy that you're looking for. So I'm definitely hyped to see what kind of shit we're going to be able to see next week. But anyway, welcome back, everybody, to My Hero Academia. I'm thoroughly looking forward to seeing what this season has in store for me. And this Overhaul, I don't know the specifics of his quirk, but it looks legitimately horrifying. I'm not sure what's worse, being rapidly decayed or just exploding like that from the inside. That was... ugh. I'm not entirely sure which one's worse, but they're both very horrifying quirks. Anyway, thank you all very much for joining me. I'm going to try to keep more than 2 episodes at a time. I'll try to, but I feel like my commentary is going to suffer a little bit from that. But anyway, I'm going to try to keep everything on my toes here. But anyway, thank you all so much for joining me. I'm looking forward to watching more of this, and if you all like this, be sure to let me know. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will definitely see all of you guys in the next video.